I'm standing with my best friend Claire amongst thousands of other students in the middle of King's College Circle, protesting the US invasion of Iraq. The February skies overhead are bright, but still chilling, and I'm shivering from the cold, or maybe the excitement of being part of such an enormous crowd. It's my first undergraduate year at the University of Toronto and my first protest. It's her second undergraduate year and not her first protest. She's dressed warmly, though without a hat, because we never wear hats. Her long, full auburn hair is parted carefully to the side and tucked behind an ear, showcasing a delicate sequence of small silver hoop earrings. She's come prepared with a professional-looking Nikon camera hung by the thick strap around her neck. I've come prepared, wearing my favorite flower necklace and peace sign button pinned to my jean jacket. My friendship with Claire began in music theater class at an arts high school in Etobicoke. The sprawling school grounds covered a large ravine which seemed basically designed to host teenagers experimenting with sex and hallucinogenic drugs. We immediately bonded over a love of singing and getting high on mushrooms, which she started selling to finance my 16th birthday party, until her dad found her stash and flushed it down the toilet. Over the years, our friendship has evolved into my template for love. My parents are loving to myself and my siblings, but as partners, we're emotionally closed off to one another. Their eventual separation in my early 20s was a long time coming, but it still took me by surprise. I saw them as functioning and didn't understand that there could be more to aspire to. But Claire won't stand for anything other than honesty, no matter how brutal, and I'm captivated by the idea of an intimacy that involves this degree of emotional exposure. After the protest, I'm inspired to take action, but so overwhelmed by all that I don't know. "You're getting ahead of yourself," she comforts me, slightly exasperated. "You have the right instincts, and that's the place we all start." With her encouragement, I mobilize my desire for political engagement and become involved in student politics. Tucked away with my peers in the Health Studies Student Union office, which is really just a glorified closet at the top of a small spiraling staircase in the creepiest corner of University College. And there, we plot our takeover of the curriculum, inviting known shit disturbers like street nurse Kathy Crow to speak to the student body. Outside of school, I'm singing with an ensemble that uses the writing of Latin American scholar and activist Eduardo Galeano as lyrics for original music. This is from a piece that we performed at an event on campus commemorating the 30th anniversary of the coup in Argentina. The Argentine military dictatorship had a habit of sending many of its victims to the bottom of the ocean. In April 1998, a brand of clothing called Diesel placed an ad in Gente magazine, intended to prove that its pants could hold up to any number of washings. A photograph showed 8 young men chained to cement blocks. A photograph showed 8 young men chained to cement blocks in the depths of the sea. The Argentine military dictatorship had a habit of sending many of its victims to the bottom of the ocean. The caption read, "They aren't your first genes, but they could be your last, at least. You'll make a lovely body." By the end of my undergraduate career, I'm an aspiring agitator of the political status quo. I moved to Vancouver after my degree to explore a new romance, but quickly fall in love with the city more than him. We're living in East Van like most of our friends, in a gray stucco building with north-facing windows that showcase the ubiquitous red cranes on the harbor and snow-capped mountains beyond. Claire challenges me to admit my disinterest in the relationship, but I'm unwilling to do so and concentrate instead on political organizing. I spend most of my time hosting community health events out of a tiny storefront at Fraser and Broadway, collectivizing experiences of alienation under neoliberal capitalism, while neighborhood kids run in circles at our feet. I take on a job as food activist. This is my actual title. It's on my business cards. And this occasionally has me walking the streets of the downtown east side at sunrise with a shopping cart full of 500 bananas to hand out to the people lining up outside for their welfare checks. My life in Vancouver is full, but after a few years, I'm starting to feel isolated and discouraged. I can't see how my political organizing work connects with a broader movement, and I can't see my way out of my relationship where I'm feeling increasingly dissatisfied. Rather than concede these losses, I run away to Ontario for the summer and have an affair with someone who was, for many years, the object of Claire's unrequited love. He's sweet and playful and has many bizarre idiosyncrasies, like always having to stand on my left side, but these are easily forgiven by deep brown eyes and a mischievous grin. It takes me a little while to realize that I've risked destroying my relationship with Claire in order to avoid confronting my own unhappiness. Back in Vancouver, I finally end my relationship, but there's no comfort from Claire, who's not ready to talk to me. I spend most of my time in the fetal position on my kitchen floor, taking solace in the cool firmness of the tile against my cheek as I contemplate the gap between who I am and who I want to be. I work in the nonprofit sector because this seems like an obvious place for someone like me who wants to affect social change. But I can't shake the feeling that I'm being co-opted into a system that is relieving the state of its responsibility for service provision. I know what I want to do. I want to become a healthcare provider and use the privilege and knowledge of that role as a platform for political advocacy. So with this in mind, I quit my job, I give up my apartment, I sell my furniture, and I return to Toronto to pursue a career in nursing. Now, while I'm moving back to Toronto, Claire is moving from Toronto to Los Angeles to be closer to her family. The distance isn't planned, but it's helpful as we take time and space to heal the trust in our relationship. The nursing program takes up most of my time anyways, as does organizing a campaign with other students and healthcare providers on access to healthcare for all. To launch the campaign, we commandeer a pirate radio station and launch a banner off the Allen Expressway during the morning rush hour, encouraging drivers stopped in traffic to tune in to a 2-minute looped recording. During my summer break, Claire and I reunite in Vancouver, and we find that our bond, though still tender, has not been broken. We're there to record and perform an album that she's writing with a mutual friend on personal loss and political despair. One song, called Iron Sharpens Iron, is about our relationship, and she's written it as a duet. The song features a yearning guitar intro followed by an insistent rhythm from the drums that just pushes the melody along. And as I sit on the sinking brown leather couch in the dim light of the recording studio to review the lyrics, I see the struggles and love of our relationship laid bare. She's written it so that we alternate lines, except for the last line of the piece that we sing together. We sang in the beginning. We will sing until the end. One afternoon, we take a break to ride out to Third Beach and lie side by side in the coarse, warm sand by the ocean. We're mildly stoned and begin to hatch an idea for a threesome that evening with a mutual lover. We decide to invite him over for dinner first and make brisket, my grandmother's recipe. The day is hot, but thankfully not humid. A cooling breeze coming off the ocean welcome as we describe desires and establish boundaries with loving care and attention. After dinner that night, the languid voice of Margot Timmins lulls the three of us into a mood that is undeniably sexy, but relaxed. The dinner cleanup is foreplay as we keep our glasses full and casually clear dishes. Lou Reed has said that the Cowboy Junkies version of Sweet Jane is his favorite, and I agree. The album was famously recorded live off the floor in Toronto's Church of the Holy Trinity. The band circled around a single mic. The raw intimacy of this arrangement carries through the music and leads us towards each other. Now, a few years later, we still live across the continent from one another, but our friendship continues to motivate me to sing and to fight. Last month, I joined a group of healthcare and legal professionals in a planned disruption in the legislature. Two of them are here in the audience as I'm looking at them. A planned disruption of the legislature in protest of recent cuts to legal aid. We wore matching white t-shirts with bold black writing stating health providers and lawyers against the cuts. Now, unfortunately, security noticed our matching apparel even under our sweaters and our jackets, and they insisted that we take off our t-shirts or not be allowed in. Fortunately, most of us found ways to smuggle our t-shirts inside the public gallery. I tucked mine under my bra. Zara tucked hers in an even more creative place. And at the appointed time, we whipped out our shirts and started chanting, "Nurses say these cuts will kill!" And then we were removed by security. Singing together, for me, is the same as fighting together for social justice. It's a way of demonstrating our collective desire to belong to a common humanity. It's an act of love where the personal meets the political. Like Claire said, we sang in the beginning, and we will sing until the end. Thank you.